Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Last hour of the week for us here. We will get you to the finish line one way or another. I hope that work week's in the rearview mirror. If not, hang in there with us. We will get you there. Father's Day weekend coming up. Looking forward to watching a lot of baseball and golf over the course of the weekend. Hope you are doing something you enjoy with family and friends. We're going to talk about Joe Burrow here in 15 minutes, plus a little look at the U.S. Open in half an hour. But right now, just some thoughts on LSU baseball in summer league action early on in this summer. These sample sizes are very, very small. None things that I am going to tell you here over the next 15 minutes are massively important or massively impactful. They're not huge storylines. Just a quick catch up on kind of what things are going on with some of the LSU Tigers, and some of it's a little bit jarring, candidly. But it's very, very small sample sizes. If these guys had done this at any point during a regular season, it would be just a blip on a radar. For some, it's 2 games. For some, it's 5 games. For some, it's 15 at-bats. It's just, there's not a lot there, but I just wanted to go into it a little bit. And I'll tell you this before we get into the statistics. This is a personal problem of mine professionally. It doesn't really impact you at all. But the Cape Cod League is the premier summer baseball league in our country. It's got the best players that are playing summer ball. It's got a ton of scouts. It's in a beautiful climate and setting. They've got a tremendous history there with great infrastructure of host families and kids who go there to get broadcasting experience and social media stuff, and the players love to be there. It is awesome on so many levels, speaking of someone who's never been there. But they cannot keep statistics at all. They're terrible at it. The team websites are a joke. I'm trying to cross-reference with Baseball Reference. It's difficult. I could not testify under oath that any of these are exactly correct or up to date. But I'm going to give you what I found on the internet and just speak to what I'm looking at here with the understanding that there could be a flaw here or there. For example, I put in my story at LouisianaSports.net that Omar Cerna was playing with Yarmouth Dennis, the Red Sox there, and he was 1 for 5 with a homer. And it turns out that Omar Cerna is not 1 for 5 with a homer. Mateo Cerna, who plays for a different school and a different Cape team and just happens to share a last name with him, did hit a homer, and they screwed it up on the website. So there's a lot of issues with the Cape Cod League, statistically speaking. It drives me insane. That's a personal problem with my job. I would like to be able to keep y'all up to date very simply with how guys are performing in the summer, because I think that's relevant to some of you. But it's hard to do when they are so bad at keeping stats and the best players on the team go play there. It's a problem. But here's what I got from LSU in summer ball through a couple of weeks. Reagan Ricken is going to make 3 starts in Cape Cod. I think that's great for him. It's going to be 3 starts. You're talking about probably about 9 innings, and then he's going to come back to Baton Rouge and work with the staff in that way. But he does want to get out there, face some live hitters, face some of the better hitters in the country that are playing summer ball, face guys with wood bats, get there in front of scouts. It's just a good thing to go do. You don't have to go throw 30 innings on the Cape, but if you want to go there and throw 9 or 10, I think that's a good thing. And he's off to a good start. He got 1 start, pitched 3 innings, gave up 4 hits and a run, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. We know that Ricken had some issues with control, so for him to only issue the 1 walk is good. 4 strikeouts were great. I saw some video of it on Twitter. He looks good. I'm a Reagan Ricken fan. Y'all know that about me. If you've listened to the postseason coverage of me talking about this LSU program moving forward, I like how smooth his delivery is. I like the life on his fastball. I like the shape of his breaking ball. I think he can be an impactful pitcher at LSU, and he's off to a nice start there on Cape Cod. I'll see how the next 2 outings go, but that was a good one for him. You've also got on the pitching side 2 guys who I don't know that will be back with LSU next year. It's Santiago Garcia and Gavin Guidry. They are on the Cape to catch scouts' eyes. That's what they're there to do this summer. Santiago Garcia is off to a nice start, 2 1/3, 1 hit, no runs. Does have 3 walks issued. He's gotten 7 outs and 3 walks, but 4 outs, a strikeout. So done a nice job. He's trying to move on to professional baseball. That's his plan. Gavin Guidry, same thing for him. He sat in this studio and talked about that with Matt. He's been at LSU since 2023, so that's 23, 24, 25, 26. I don't anticipate that he wants to play a 5th year of college baseball, but he's going to have to get drafted to move on or sign an undrafted free agent deal. And he didn't have a great year this past year. And then in 3 1/3 innings this year on the Cape, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, a home run allowed, 2 hit batsmen. So it has not been a great start for Gavin Guidry after a bumpy junior season, I guess you would say, here in Baton Rouge. So he's trying to get out in front of Souths, but hasn't been awesome thus far. Now you've got transfers to LSU that are playing on the Cape. I am going to monitor these guys all summer long as well. Dawson Park is playing for Katuitt there. He is 2 for 10, but he does have 3 walks. He scored twice, driven in 2 runs and 4 walks, but hitting 200 with a couple of walks. It's 10 at-bats. You're talking about 3 or 4 games here, so not a huge sample size, but I'm glad Dawson Park is playing on the Cape. He needs to see really good pitching. He needs to see pitching that you will see on the Cape as opposed to each and every game there at Texas State. I think it's a good thing that he's playing on Cape Cod, so I'll continue to keep an eye on him. Bino Waters has played in 2 games there. He's 1 for 4, but he's got 4 walks in 2 games, so he's gotten on base 5 times over the course of 2 games. Only struck out once, and he scored 3 times, so good to see Bino Waters on the Cape. He'll swing it from the left side up there for Chatham. Jason Wax is also on the Cape. He's the Tulane transfer that LSU's gotten. Not a great start for Jason Wax on Cape Cod thus far. 0 for 15. He's got an RBI, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Again, it's 15 at-bats. That's akin to a weekend. It would be like a bad weekend. So I'm not concerned that Jason Wax is completely overmatched against SEC pitching because he's off to a bad start on the Cape. I think he'll get more at-bats, and I'll continue to monitor. But he's obviously off to a tough start with 0 for 15 with 7 strikeouts for Jason Wax. That's got to improve. He did a great job getting on base at Tulane. He did a great job hitting against the better teams that Tulane played. It's not like he can't handle velocity. Grant Fontenot threw him a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and he ripped it out of the park at the box. It's just a bad start for Jason Wax there on the Cape. Now, 2 guys that I think a lot of you are monitoring a little bit here or would appreciate an update on are William Patrick and Jack Ruckert. They're out west in the Pacific Empire League with the Healdsburg Prune Packers, of course. William Patrick is 8 for 24. That's a .333 batting average for William Patrick early on. He's also drawn 6 walks. So you're looking at a .452 on-base percentage for William Patrick. He's stolen a couple of bases. He's got 6 strikeouts and 6 walks thus far for Healdsburg. So it's just important for him to get at bats. It's important for Jack Ruckert to get in bats as well. And they're getting a lot of them. Jack Ruckert is on William Patrick's team there out west. Ruckert is off to a good start. 9 for 28. He had 2 multi-hit games this week. He's hitting .321, but he's got 10 walks. So his on-base percentage thus far is .512 there out west. I'm a little concerned with the amount of walks that Patrick and Ruckert are drawing. That tells me probably a little bit more about the competition level as opposed to what they've done thus far. But it's been a good start statistically for those guys as Ruckert is getting on base at a .512 clip. He's got 9 runs driven in and a double to go with that .321 batting average. I'll tell you that William Patrick is playing a lot of center field and that Jack Ruckert this week played a lot of second base. He has played some shortstop, but he's played a lot of second base, and I think he needs to just continue to get work at all those places. He right now feels like your swing infielder. I think Jack Ruckert can play shortstop and second. I think he can probably play third, although I think John Pearson is more likely the third baseman. So it's a good summer for him to get at bats, which he needs badly, to play some different places on the infield, which I'm sure that he will. And so it's early. I'm not really going to draw sweeping conclusions from any of this. If Patrick and/or Ruckert hit .368 for the summer, I will call that a big deal. If Bino Waters, if Jason Wax goes out there and hits $1.20 on the Cape, I'll think that's a rough summer. I'm not going to draw a lot of conclusions based on 1 week, and this is a lot of 1 week action. So wanted to pass all that along. I'll keep up with it every single Friday at LouisianaSports.net. That's going to kind of be my weekly piece over the next few weeks. A lot of these guys will play for a couple weeks and come home. It's not standard procedure for college players to play the entire summer anymore. You want to go get some ABs. It's important to get in front of scouts. It's important to play against good players. and then you'll come home at some point. Everybody's got a different plan. LSU takes this stuff very, very seriously. The days of going out there and playing 60 games are largely over. Not for everybody. For some guys you will, especially if you didn't play a lot as a freshman, and that may be the case for Ruckert and Patrick. But that's where they are right now. So I wanted to give you all an update on the Summer League baseball statistics. We'll move forward. Let's talk a little bit about what Joe Burrow had to say. It brought back some memories. We'll talk about that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci. Go check him out at Marucci. The Hitter's House is such a great, great spot there. Become a member. If you've got a youth baseball player in your house, become a member. Got a youth softball player in your house, become a member. What does that get you? Well, key card access to their facility at the Hitter's House 24/7. So you can go in and get some cuts if it's raining. You can go in and get some cuts if it's 100 degrees outside. You can go in and get some cuts if it's dark outside after dinner. It's open all the time if you're a member. So if your youth baseball or softball player wants to get some swings in, wants to work on pitching, and you don't have a spot for that at home, or you're not on a team currently because the spring season is over, the Hitter's House is always open. So become a member over there at Marucci. You can check them out online at maruccisports.com. And join the Hitter's House, where you can get key card access to their facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's all courtesy of my friends at Marucci.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
So whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, whatever stage of life you're in, Oxygen Rangers Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute can help get you moving and then keep you moving. You've got access to the highest level of specialized care, nationally renowned expertise, and the latest equipment and modern facilities. That includes a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic at the Elite Training Complex at Burbank. If you need care fast, whether it's a sprain, strain, minor dislocation, sports injuries, you can walk in to the Elite Training Complex on Burbank. From the field to the recovery, Oxygen Rangers Institute is there to help move you into healing and get you back to what you love, whether that's being in the gym, whether that's playing high school sports, whether that's being an Asian athlete, or just playing with the grandkids. Learn more at oxford.org/brortho. That's oxford.org/brortho. Tough start for former Tiger Kevin Gausman today at Wrigley Field. The Cubs hung 7 in the first on my guy Kevin Gausman, who I covered day to day when I was covering the beat back in his playing days, 2011 and 2012, and has been an incredible big leaguer and will continue to be an incredible big leaguer. But today, not his day at the friendly confines, as the Cubs hit a grand slam and scored 7 runs in the first inning off of Kevin Gausman today. So let's transition to a guy that is talking a little bit more positively, and that's Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. The Bengals wrapped up their mandatory minicamp earlier this week, and Burrow got to the podium, and he had some pretty powerful things to say. Now, keep in mind, Joe has been last year at the end of the season was a little bit introspective and, quite frankly, kind of a bummer at the podium. And this sounded completely different as the Bengals get ready for the 2026 season. This was Joe Burrow after mandatory minicamp.
I want everybody talking about the Bengals. I want everybody talking about what I'm saying in my press. Is he, you go back and watch what I said before 2019 season at LSU. I feel very similarly about this team. I'm so excited to get started and get moving. And I wish we would ramp this right into training camp so we can continue to improve. Because I feel like, there's so much greatness that we're going to be able to achieve this year. I'm just excited to get going.
You said the way that you talk.
That's interesting to me because I have heard Joe Burrow, as I just said, speak candidly in a pessimistic way about that something's got to change. I'm not having fun. This is not a guy that just gets to the podium and just spews cliches and positivity all the time. He generally gives a pretty thoughtful answer to what you're looking for, and he's telling you that he feels great about this team. Now, keep in mind, because Joe Burrow started like a house on fire, we know. I mean, he played 10 games his rookie year and got hurt, and the Bengals weren't good, and they were able to draft Jamar Chase. But that next year, they went to the Super Bowl as a 10-6 team. And the next year, they went 12-4 and were very much a threat and got beat in the playoffs by Mahomes. But they were, at that point, you're like, okay, with Burrow healthy in year 2 and year 3, you're talking about 22-10 and advancing in the playoffs and getting to a Super Bowl. They're going to be a problem for the NFL for a while. And since then, they have not been. Joe played in 10 games in 2023. They went 5-5, but he got hurt, and by the time he got back and they played well, they were a non-factor. And then he played 17 games in 2024. He led the NFL in completions. He led the NFL in passing yards. He led the NFL in touchdowns. He led the NFL in first downs. He led the NFL in yards per game. Played 17 games, and they went 9-8. And last year, he got hurt again. They were 5-3 in his 8 games. But Joe Burrow in the last 2 seasons is a quarterback who's amassed a 14-11 record. You extrapolate that out for 3 seasons, you're talking about a guy who is 19-16 as a starter and has missed 16 games over the last 3 seasons. Like, there's not a lot of greatness that's gone on in Cincinnati the last 3 years. And Zach Taylor still got a job, and they paid Joe Burrow, and they paid Jamar Chase, and they paid T. Higgins. But they haven't been great. And you looked up last year, and all of a sudden, Mahomes isn't in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson's not in the playoffs. Josh Allen was, but neither were the Bengals. Like, that would have been a door opening. If you were pulling for the Bengals, if you're in my shoes, and you're an LSU fan, and most of y'all are LSU and Saints diehards, and I love that. But I think if I'm talking to you, the Sunday football watcher, most of you listening to the sound of my voice would prefer the Bengals win than lose. There are certainly going to be some of y'all that would suggest, I bleed black and gold. I don't give a rip about the Bengals. Thanks, Joe, for being the national championship quarterback and winning the Heisman. That rocked. I don't care about the Bengals. And that's great. I love that. I feel that way in Major League Baseball. I'm thrilled the Cubs lit Kevin Gausman up today. Thrilled about it. When Skeens pitches against the Cubs, I want 13 runs. I have my allegiance. I like those guys. I hope they do well when they're not playing the Cubs. But I don't care if the Pirates win. I don't care if the Blue Jays win. I didn't care about Bregman in Houston. I do now. It's the Cubs. But, I get it. And some of you Saints fans are like that. But there are also plenty of Saints fans that go, yeah, I'm locked in on the Saints at noon, but the Bengals are playing at 3, and I hope they win. I'll turn that on. And I think most of you thought, okay, this is going to be the start of something really, really fun, and it just hasn't been the last couple of years. But I don't know that Joe is one to blow smoke. And so when I hear him say that, if he can stay healthy, maybe they're good. Because it was a bummer last year to look at that AFC playoff bracket and go, man, this looks manageable. Like, Denver, are they that good? Like, you're scared of Josh Allen more often than not. But there is no Mahomes. It feels like they're over the hill. You thought that Mahomes was going to be a thorn in Burrow's side for 10 years. Maybe he's not anymore. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be great this year. Who knows what's going on in Baltimore? They fired their coach. Pittsburgh's transitioned out. Like, what's the class of the AFC? I don't know. So you hope that the Bengals can do it. But the question is their defense good enough? Is their offensive line good enough? Because those haven't been good enough since they walked off the field against the Rams in the Super Bowl. They were good the next year, but not good enough. And now Joe's gotten hurt. And that franchise has kind of done what we as LSU fans feared under Joe. They've misallocated resources. They haven't put the proper infrastructure around him. And some of that's Joe's fault. Because the word on the street is that Joe went to the Bengals brass and said, I need Chase, I need Higgins. Make it happen. And everybody from the outside's going, you can't pay 2 receivers that. When your offensive line looks like that and your defense looks like that, you can't pay 2 wide receivers that and a quarterback that. And they have. So they'll have to prove a lot of people wrong. But I'll tell you this. I'm not going to bet against Joe Burrow at 30 years old. If he's hurt, I'll bet against the Bengals. But I'm not going to bet against Joe Burrow at 30 years old. I'm very hopeful that they can make things interesting this year. They finally last year got the 0-2 monkey off their back by winning the first 2 games of the season, and then he got hurt and they fell flat. But hopefully he can stay healthy. He can play 17 games. He can play to the level he did 2 years ago when he led the NFL in like 5 different passing categories, and they can play some semblance of defense and some semblance of a rushing attack. That would be nice. Myles Garrett's gone, thankfully. I still don't believe in Pittsburgh, even though they kept their head above water last year. Baltimore wasn't great last year. We'll see what that is. Like, that division doesn't look quite as scary as maybe it once did. I'm hopeful. I'd like it if the Bengals were good. Jordan, I'm curious your thoughts. Like, I know where you stand on the Saints. Are you one of the Saints fans that says, I don't give a rip about the Bengals? Or are you like, once the Saints are over, I'll keep an eye on and see what the Bengals are doing?
I'm always going to root for the LSU guys when they're not playing against the Saints.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be the Bengals. Like anybody, outside of Harold Perkins now, that plays for the Falcons. But like everybody else, I'm pretty much rooting for. And I'm actually like follow them really close. I'm always making sure to see, what Jamar did.
Yeah.
Jefferson, fantasy football wise purposes too, also added to that. But I'm always rooting for LSU guys no matter what, unless they're playing the Saints. But I'm always looking. Well, I'll say it like this: for the AFC and the Bengals, they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. Huh? I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't know what they're gonna do. They already paid T. Higgins and Jamar. What more can they do? They try to trade for Dexter Lawrence, but that's not really gonna fix all the problems they have. So
defense is a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. We know Jamar and Joe gonna show up. We know that. We know we can.
And
pencil
Henderson
in
moving on is not helping the defense
at all. And you replace him with Dexter Lawrence, a nose tackle. You replace an edge rusher with a nose tackle.
Yeah.
Maybe Shamar Stewart can become something. I'm out on him already. So it's like they're in trouble. But again, the division is coming down.
But right, and I'm listening to Joe, and when I hear him in December last year or whatever month that was, talk about how something's got to change because this is not fun, and I got to and then you hear him say this week, like, y'all heard me before 2019, like, watch out.
Yeah.
I take a note. I don't take it as gospel. I just take a note. It's like, okay, I hear you. Let's see. So let's hope they can get off to a decent start and
gotta be healthy.
And stay healthy, and maybe they can push things in the right direction. I would love it if the Saints and Bengals made the playoffs. I promise they won't play each other until something's really, really good happens. So
that's why I root for the Bengals, because we don't play them.
There you go. So that's a good thing. So we'll see. Joe's right there. Joe Burrow says, you heard me before 2019. You hear me now. We'll see how that all shakes out. We got 30 minutes to go. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com. Lifetimeroofingla.com is that website. Look, it is storm season, and we just had the first name system come through. If you feel like that revealed an issue with your roof, call Lifetime Roofing. If you feel like, okay, I'm not sure if my roof is ready to handle a direct hit of a storm, then let them come inspect your roof. Maybe they tell you it's all good. Maybe they tell you, hey, it's a little bit older, but if we do a tune-up, we can fortify things and you'll be okay. Great. Maybe they'll tell you, hey, we do see an issue. Let's do a repair. Great. Maybe they say, yeah, you need a new roof. They can do that. Financing options are available, 0% for 18 months. And every single new roof that you get from the folks at Lifetime Roofing comes with that lifetime workmanship warranty. That backs the craftsmanship, obviously, as well as the materials that are backed by Certainty, which is one of the oldest and most respected names in building materials. Work with Lifetime Roofing. Lifetime workmanship warranty. Local company here in Baton Rouge. Growing team just off College Drive in an awesome facility. It's Lifetime Roofing. Check them out online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up.
Stars and Stripes. Strike first, thanks to Australia. For the second game in a row, the USA is beneficiary of an own goal early in the proceedings. So Australia booted one in the back of the the USA net on accident. And so it's 1-0. Good guys. We like that.
No, we're definitely like that. We're turned up right now, honestly. But you got to keep the foot on the gas. Got to keep your foot on the gas.
If they win, they're through, right?
No. We still got to play, I think.
I know they got to play another game, but
yeah.
I think if you win the first two, you're automatically going to make it through. You're just working for seeding at that point, goal differential, which they won by 1 billion in the first game. So things look good for Team USA at the moment. They're playing up in Seattle at this juncture. I got my eye on the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark fires another really impressive round today. He is 7 under, 4 clear of the field right now, but the leaderboard is absolutely loaded. You got Clark, as I mentioned, at 7 under, but behind him, Matt Fitzpatrick and Sanders Schauffele, both major champions, are there at 3 under, 4 back. They are both done for the day. Colin Morikawa, a 2-time major champion, is there at in tie for 4th at 2 under. Harry Higgs joins him there. The Big Rig got things moving in the right direction. He's through 9 holes today, also at 2 under. Max Grazerman. And then you've got a group at 1 under par, which is led by Justin Thomas, Keegan Bradley, Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Oberg, Brian Harmon. Those are some big names there. Sam Burns, from a local perspective, shot 1 over yesterday. Shot 1 under yesterday and is even par through 4 holes. He is 1 over through 4 holes today. He's even par for the championship at tied for 14th there. So Sam in a very good spot. Here's the deal on the U.S. Open. Shinnecock is the course in the States that they can lose the most quickly. It is up on a hill and exposed to the Atlantic Ocean all the way around because it's on Long Island. So the wind blows a ton, and in June, the sun can bake it. So if they have that course tuned up to the standards of all the people that want carnage on the leaderboard on Thursday, by the time you get to Saturday, you have no golf course. And that's happened at Shinnecock. They've had to have guys come out there and water the greens between groups to try to keep dead grass functioning on the green. So there's no need to do that on Thursday. They will progressively tune this course up. It will get browner and browner. By the time you get to Sunday, you will not see this green grass. It will have gone to browner, especially around the greens. It will be firm. It will be fast. The wind will be blowing, and it's going to be very, very difficult. This is, when they want it to be, the most difficult golf course on the U.S. Open rotation. And it will play that way on the weekend when they're ready for it. But the way you make a course firm and fast is you don't water it and you cut it short. If you do that on Thursday and the wind blows and it doesn't rain, the golf course dies. Okay? So they're not going to do that on Thursday. So yes, Wyndham Clark is 7 under on the toughest course that we have, and everybody that wants the golf course to win is going, well, this is ridiculous. It's supposed to be hard. He's just tuning it up. Just watch. Wyndham Clark will not be 7 under when the proceedings end on Sunday evening. He will back up. And if he does, which I project he will, there are players right there to catch him. Fitzpatrick is a dog. Xander Schauffele is a dog. Colin Morikawa is a dog. Those guys are pure iron players, and they will ball strike this thing all day if they need to. Justin Thomas can play like that at times. Rory McIlroy and Ludwig Oberg can do that at times as well. There are some really good players right there in the rearview mirror of Wyndham Clark, and I'm really excited to watch this because this course is unlike any that we have in the U.S. Open rotation because of its setting and its bones. Like, I don't love, I got asked earlier, Musso asked me this in the hall. He goes, hey, are you a pull for the course guy? Do you want these guys to be fighting for their life on the golf course? And my answer to that question is, I don't think it's fun if you shrink the fairways down to a landing strip, grow the rough up 10 feet tall, bake the greens out so they're dead so that nobody can hit shots anywhere. I would not find that to be an interesting golf tournament to watch. I would find that to be ridiculous. I want them to have room to hit it in the fairway. I want them to have room to hit it on the green, and I want it to be penal if they miss their shots, the greens to be pretty quick, the wind to blow, and the winning score to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 over to 5 under. And I think that's what you're going to get here as the wind continues to blow. Making it so no one can hit good shots is stupid. And you can hit good shots. You can hit it on the fairway here. You can hit it on the greens. All the players said yesterday, it was really, really, really soft. It was really receptive. It's not going to be the case the entire weekend. So right now, I would not pick Wyndham Clark to win. I would probably pick Xander Schauffele to win. I think Matt Fitzpatrick is a great pick to win. I think those guys are going to be right in the mix of this thing. I selfishly, based on fantasy golf happenings, would like it if Russell Henley would get in the mix. But if you're concerned that Wyndham Clark shot 7 under, so he's going to go out there and shoot 14 under at Shinnecock, that ain't happening. He caught the best end of the draw last night. He got hot when they were playing golf when they weren't supposed to be playing because they had a fog delay in the morning, and that meant they had to play late into the night last night. The wind stopped blowing, and he lit it up for the last few holes last night. That's not going to be the case as the golf tournament moves forward. He's going to get into this wind, and it's going to be really, really difficult. I can't wait to watch. I think it's going to be great. I would love it if Sam Burns could put his foot on the gas and make a push at this thing, but I think you're going to see. Some carnage that you're looking for. I'm watching right now on the TV here in the studio, and I'm watching Harris English stand over a putt, and his shirt is whipping. That wind's going to be moving. I realize Wyndham Clark is not out there. Fitzpatrick's not out there. Schauffele's not out there. Clearly, the better time to play was late early on Thursday and Friday, and those guys are done. And the guys that got the tough wind draw yesterday are getting it again today, and that's going to make things difficult. But you're gonna get some guys that can really play like Oberg and McIlroy through this group, and they're going to be around. So it's going to be great to watch. It's going to be great theater, and I'm very excited to take a look at that as we progress through the weekend. So those are my thoughts on the U.S. Open. This is, I think, the best U.S. Open course that we have. It's the one that can put up the greatest fight, but they can't just bake out the golf course Wednesday night. It won't survive until Sunday. Just give them time to let it go, and if you're one of those that wants to settle in on Sunday and watch some really hard golf, it'll get there. Just wait. Doesn't have to look like Chambers Bay or the ridiculous Shinnecock that we've seen in years past. It can progress toward that on Sunday, and I think that's what we're going to see. So it's going to be a good weekend of golf at the U.S. Open, and hopefully it's a good afternoon here for Team USA when it comes to soccer as they take a 1-0 lead. We talked about the College World Series a little bit earlier on. For those that missed it and are like, well, what did Hunt say? I decided to go with North Carolina. I'm going to doubt Oklahoma all the way to the finish line. That's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. And it may be completely wrong. Are you anxious about my selection of North Carolina?
No, I'm happy you're actually going against Oklahoma because you got to stand on it. You got to stand on it. I'm very
Everyone's
proud.
bailing. Everyone's going, well, I've been picking against them. I'm going back.
Exactly. No. I respect that. I respect the man that's able to stand on it. Like, nah, you been said there wasn't good, and they caught fire. You got it. Now you're like, you know what? Even though everybody's saying all this, nah, I ain't going nowhere. They still not going to win. I still not a believer. I respect it. I'm go down with the ship.
We'll see. Speaking of baseball, last thing, and then we'll take a break and get to our final segment of the day. I am told by my friends in Fayetteville that Thomas Allen is expected to visit Arkansas this weekend. He is the right-handed pitcher from Louisiana Tech. He is a Benton, Louisiana native. That's just just outside of Bossier. So that's it is north of Bossier. That's where he's going to be this weekend. Allen is a guy that LSU has expressed interest in. They are angling for a visit from him. Mississippi State's involved. Arkansas is involved. Texas is involved. Tennessee is involved. He's got a fastball up to 97 miles an hour. Good breaking ball. Had a great freshman season. 6'2", 185, and would be a nice right-handed addition to LSU's bullpen should they make that happen. At this point, they're going to have to fight off some other SEC teams and potentially teams that have a few more funds remaining. Not that LSU was broke this year in the portal. They've expended a lot on the guys they've brought in out of the transfer portal. But Allen is a really good prospect that they would like to bring in as a bullpen option. He, based on what I'm being told from Fayetteville, has a chance to be in their weekend rotation next year because Arkansas is replacing their weekend rotation. So that's something to watch. I'll have updates on that throughout the weekend at LouisianaSports.net. But Thomas Allen's a guy that LSU baseball would like to get in the boat. He's got a lot of SEC interest, and Arkansas is getting their swing at him come this weekend. So we'll see if that comes fruition up on the hill for the Hogs, or if LSU is able to get a visit from him and pull him in as a Louisiana native. Just something that we'll keep an eye on. Also, a left-handed pitcher that LSU is involved with this weekend. So Tigers are not done, but I anticipate very little on the offensive side of things moving forward from the portal. I think they will concentrate their efforts on the pitching side of things and trying to fortify that bullpen. And Thomas Allen's a guy that you can look for, as well as a potential left-handed arm for LSU in the portal. So just a bow on that for this Friday. We'll come back and close out the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services, boudreauxelectrical.com. That's boudreauxelectrical.com. Neil and Melissa have been running the show for 40 years at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They are the local option for that Generac home standby generator. If you want to give yourself the peace of mind of knowing that you're not going to lose power, Boudreaux's Electrical Services can help you out. You can buy from the big box store. I tell you that almost every day. You can get that Generac home standby generator from one of the big national chains. Do you ever hear from them again after the installation? What if there's an issue and you're not even aware of it? That mechanical malfunction may not hit your radar until you need your generator to come on and it doesn't, and you're sitting there in the dark in a hot house. That's not going to happen at Boudreaux's Electrical because they monitor your generator 24/7, and if there is a mechanical issue, they send a local team out to repair it so that when the hurricane comes through, when that afternoon thunder shower comes through, when we got that winter storm like we did this past year, you're not going to lose power. A lot of folks did this week when we had our first name system come through. Don't let that happen again. Call Boudreaux's Electrical at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. The Gonzales location, we'll take your call as well, at 225-300-9389. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services, online at boudreauxelectrical.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp.
Closing up shop here on a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. I want to take just a minute here and wish everybody out there who it applies to a happy Father's Day. Should be an awesome weekend. I'm looking forward to it with my my two kiddos. Going to celebrate with my wife's dad on the North Shore on Sunday. Looking forward to that as well. Should be an awesome weekend. Hope you get to spend it with friends and family. And to all the dads out there, a happy Father's Day. Hope it is everything you want it to be. Whether that's a lot of nothing or a lot of something, just do it the way that you would like to. I'm very much looking forward to it. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Jordan, give me an update from Seattle. We got things are happening, I'm told.
Things are happening. America's up 2-0 after a header that was called off for offsides. Okay. Reviewed it. Wasn't offside. So 2-0 America right now. Going to be halftime.
Gotta love the video replay. Oh, and meanwhile, speaking of the home team, Sam Burns stuffing it in there for a potential birdie there for the Shreveport kid to move him under par at the U.S. Open. Oh, they go right to it. So we'll get a look and see if Sam cashes that in. I'm assuming since they're showing it, he did. It probably happened. Probably happened previously, and he did. So Sam Burns moves to 1 under, very much in the mix. Look, Sam has the game to get it done at places like this. He's so solid. He's such a great putter. The problem with Sam can be his short game, and that's a big problem if it does come to that. But he's got all the game to be a major champion. He just hasn't gotten into the mix a lot. So hopefully he's able to do that this weekend. He's 1 under. Wyndham Clark is at 7, but I think Wyndham Clark's coming back once they tune this golf course up over the weekend. So we'll keep posted, and I would love it if Sam can make a charge on the weekend on Sunday. All right, one more order of business. We got to take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, Hunt, this one's a little weird going on. So the rest of the world is kind of uncertain about the actual age of Sauce Gardner. So Sauce comes out this week to make it known that he's actually 24 years old, not 25, as multiple outlets have had his birth year incorrect all this time. So actually, he's born August 31st, 2001, and all this time he was listed that he was born in 2000. So letting the world know that they got your age wrong, take it or leave it?
Well, if we got it wrong, then take it. Obviously, we got a birth certificate here. This is a guy from America, right?
Yeah, it's from America. So, I mean, Ahmad Gardner from Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
So let's just pull the birth certificate. Don't we have that? This is not.
I know,
this
it's
is
crazy.
Not the kids from the Bronx in the World Series where we didn't have anything. Got Danny Almonte slinging it around. We don't have any problems like the Cubans. Like, let's get the birth certificate out and figure this out. This is not a difficult thing to do.
I'm still shocked by you. I cannot believe that this is an actual story going on. And the fact that it took him all this time to come out and let everybody know that your age was wrong and you're actually a year younger than what you are. So whatever with Sauce Gardner. So Detroit Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs is switching up his preparation for his 4th NFL season. Speaking to ESPN's Eric Woodyard, Gibbs revealed he's added mixed martial arts training with legendary coach Rafael Cordero to his off-season workouts. So Cordero, who has previously trained with Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, and Chris Cyborg. So is Jahmyr Gibbs going to be the number 1 pick in fantasy football this year? Take it or leave it. Yeah, little twist.
Leave it.
Leave it. Okay, what you got?
Give me some kind of Jackson Smith and Jigba or something. Somebody's going to have 1,800 receiving yards and
Little
14
Puka
touchdowns.
action?
Something like that. Yeah, look, I think martial arts is an awesome thing to do if you're in the NFL. Balance control, strength, all that kind of stuff that comes with it.
Most definitely.
You don't want to see me doing any of that, but if you're trying to break tackles of NFL linebackers, I think that's probably a pretty good idea. So I'm in on that. That's good.
I'm in on that. And
Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the smoothest runners I've ever seen in my life. That guy glides on air.
And it's crazy because he had that 1 year at Alabama that kind of just gets washed by the wayside.
He went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
I think he's from Georgia, matter of fact.
So go somewhere else. Don't go to Georgia Tech.
Hey, but that's how you know. That's the beauty of the portal. Like, guys will go to a little school like that and get picked up by Alabama. You know, just Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. So the mother of Cape Verde. So a couple days ago, I talked about the goalie that was 40 years old that had this breakout game in the World Cup for Cape Verde. They held Spain to 0-0. So so his mother never had opportunity to watch. So the U.S. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries announced that the United States is granting her a one-time visa to see him come play this Sunday against Uruguay. So the sports bringing people together. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. That's good. I didn't love the fact that Iran couldn't get their coach here or something?
No, well, they're I don't know what's going on with them, but like, so they
I don't follow the World Cup. I don't know what's going on here, and I don't follow politics either, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm aware that there's situation in Iran that but I feel like if we're playing in the World Cup, we should probably let the coach come. That's just me with no information on the actual war and the agreement to end it and no information on the World Cup. 100%. I have no information on the politics or the actual games that are going on. Just me from the peanut gallery way up in the top going, if they're in the tournament, the coach should probably be with the team.
You know,
we can put a cop with him if we need to. If we got some sort of homeland security issue, just put some cops over there. But let the guy coach the team. Unless he's actually a terrorist, then I think we can probably coach the soccer team. That's where I am.
Yeah. So look, what they got going on with Iran, they have to fly. So they can't stay in America. They're playing in Los Angeles, right? They have to keep flying to and from Mexico. So after the game, they fly out of the country to Mexico. That's where they're stationed. They can't be in the country right now. So that's what's going on.
That's fine. Just let the coach come. I don't know. Again, it's a tough spot because here's the deal. When Jay Johnson picks Paul Skeens to pitch against Tulane in the regional, I feel like I've got the authority to speak on that decision.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on with Iran and their soccer team and who can be in America and who can't.
Yeah.
It just feels like if they're in the tournament, we should
keep it together a little bit.
Just get them in a hotel, put the police around them. I don't know. But maybe not. I don't know. I don't have the information.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's it for Take It or Leave It.
Good. We can leave the
Happy
Iran
Father's
talk
Day, everybody.
There. Yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Been a dry month of June thus far for me. I hadn't had a cocktail since the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. So it's before the selection show. It sounds like I'm not allowed to go tonight's date night without a cocktail. My wife told me that I had to eat unhealthy foods and have a drink because if I didn't, it would ruin her night. So I guess I'll have to.
I love that.
I guess I'll have to jump off the old wagon here for a bit.
No more shrimp salads. Go get you something, man. Finally.
The worst. Diet's just
no more kale.
I'm really good at dieting and I hate it. But we're in a decent spot, so we'll go ahead and eat something unhealthy and have a cocktail. Maybe just one cocktail. Now, look, here's the deal.
I'm
going to the beach next Saturday in 8 days.
Okay.
There will be no dieting in the beach.
Should never be
There will
dieting.
be no abstaining from alcohol at the beach whatsoever. But we've had a good run here of 4 weeks. I guess we'll let things loose a little bit this evening.
It's a Friday. Come on now. It's
She
Father's
looked
Day
at me. She was
weekend.
like, "You're not going to diet at the restaurant."
No.
I was like, "Well, I was thinking about it. I haven't seen what my goal weight is." She's like, "And you're not drinking. Like that's going to ruin my night if you do that." Well, that's nice. I appreciate you saying that. I'll go ahead and have a cocktail then. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully all the dads have a great weekend as well. If you missed any of our show today, Feel free to catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. I opened the show with the left-handed pitcher that LSU is getting through the Major League Baseball draft. Braxton Beatty says he is not going to be drafted. He'll be at LSU. I gave a scouting report on him. Preston Guy from TigerBait.com joined us to talk about the entire recruiting weekend. LSU's got a 5-star on campus, got a couple of potential flips on campus. He broke that down for us at 1:15. You can find that wherever you find your sound at Hunt on LSU. My pick for the College World Series final. I got the Sooners losing. Give me UNC, and we'll talk about that on Monday. A summer baseball update for the LSU players at Cape Cod and out west. Joe Burrow talking confidently. I gave you my pick on that as well. Go back and catch the show if you missed it. We're brought to you by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back on Monday, same time, same place. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at fabrychevrolet.com. I've been telling y'all the last couple of weeks, I love navigating the website at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. I'm not in the market for a vehicle today, but the wife and I had a conversation. That day is coming here probably in the next 10 months. And so I've just been kind of looking around at pricing, looking around at inventory, and the website is so user-friendly. Go to fabrychevrolet.com. You can sort by new vehicles. You can sort by pre-owned vehicles. If you've just got a budget in mind and not sure what you can get for that, search by price. You've got that. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, but you've got a mileage limitation on that, search by mileage. They've got you there. All of it is right there, and it's so functional. Plus, the entire inventory is there at fabrychevrolet.com. So you can start your buying process there and see what's going on. And then I highly recommend you just make that short drive to St. Francisville and see the people at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're wonderful to work with. You'll have fantastic customer service. So start that buying process today at fabrychevrolet.com.